This is a reading from the notebooks by Maria Valtorta. I will include the 16th, the 17th, and the 23rd. November 16th. With my heart afflicted by so much, too much, selfishness, which, because it is such, repays with indifference what was not indifference, I hear the dear voice saying to me repeatedly, "These obstacles, these expenses, and this lack of blessing upon an enterprise, which I cannot bless, because it is undertaken going against charity, and against the word given months ago, which people pretend to forget, but which I do not forget, were indicated in the dictation on October the 11th. I give it more for them than for you, and they should have meditated and applied it. Now open the Bible. You will find a repetition of threats. I open the Bible by chance. I am presented with Isiah chapter 30. Woe to you, O rebellious children, who make plans but without me, and weave a cloth which is not according to my spirit, and heap sin upon sin, and are heading off to go down into Egypt without consulting me. That is why on this I have forcefully spoken. There is nothing but pride. Do not move. Now then, go and write this. Record it with precision in a book that will serve as eternal testimony for the days to come, for this provokes disdain. They do not want to listen to the law of God. They say to the prophets, "Do not prophesy," and to the seers, "Do not see the truth for us. Talk to us about pleasant matters." Isaiah chapter 30, verses 1 and 2, and 7 to 10. Jesus says, "That's enough, and I will not comment. It is even too clear." I ask, "And is there nothing for me?" He replies, "Open further on." I open. It is still Isaiah chapter 62, verses 11 and 12. "Behold, your Savior is coming. He is bringing his reward with him, and his work stands before him. You shall be called the city sought for, and not abandoned." I kiss his gentle hand with laughter and tears, and further ask, "And so, is there nothing for the others?" When you are better, there will then be very much that it will make you and your Father Director ascend to the third heaven. And he laughs. I kiss his hand again, and think of you, that are so happy over the pages on Mary's immaculate childhood, and will receive many more. November 17th. I have just received Holy Communion, offered for my return and for a happy trip for the Belfanti family. They left on November 10th, as remarked in the entry for that day. And as I pray, especially for Paola, whose happiness I would like to see, in supernatural and also human terms, as she deserves, I reflect on Giuseppe as well. Often, quite often, I reflect on him, and on many points in his muddled self, and I wonder, is he really freed? Is he really on the right path? Will he be able to remain on it? And will he be able to proceed on it until dying as a Catholic? Jesus, who has not abandoned me in these 7 days, in which I have suffered the abandonment of my relatives, and his presence has removed from this suffering the excessive character it would have had, in such fashion that I have looked at it as an unpleasant event, but not as really mine, something happening, but barely involving one because other things preserve one therefrom, says to me, "Don't delude yourself too much. He is sincere, but not firm. There is too much pride in him, and pride is the ground on which Satan rests his foot, again to undertake once more his work on a heart that has been torn away from him." Judas, and many others along with him, had sincere desires for good, and sincere returns to good, but he later yielded to the assaults of evil, which seemed close to dying in him, and caressed it. Evil then felt stronger and recovered boldness and life. Diabolical possession is the illness which most forcefully reappears, and only in a humble person does it really die. But it is hard for a possessed individual to be humble. Pride is the first seed sown by Satan. "But you said that you love him because you see him as a sincere and desirous of following the truth. And so?" "And so, he is like that now. Judas, too, was that way when he would come to me with the intention of being my disciple or becoming one again. But afterwards, you have seen him. How many Judases? How many unfortunates? everywhere, in homes, offices, and convents. Superiors must have watchful, open spiritual eyes. Say this to Father Migliorini. These unfortunates do not always want to be such, but they are not sufficiently strong and firm. The superior must watch over and support them, and watch over himself. In what? Oh, in many things. To be careful about choosing them for special posts and special assignments. To be careful about admitting them to secret knowledge, especially with the young, with so little formation at the present time. Where are the Johns of Zebedee? Where are the deacons like Lawrence? Be very, very careful. That's enough for now. Remain in my peace. November 23rd. I am disturbed. It is not the first time. For some time now I have had a sign that someone is not acting honestly towards me. I have always rejected and silenced this sign and this intimate impression, but it is now too pressing. I don't know who it is, a man, a woman, I don't know. I know there is someone acting without sincerity and improperly towards me, and if it were towards Maria Valtorta, there would be nothing bad about it, but I fear evil is being done to the spokesman. I strive not to want to give a name to this person who is not sincere and lacks respect for Jesus, but if I do so because I have no proof and would not like to be lacking in charity by doubting. Jesus says even suspicion is a lack of charity. He has said so 2 or 3 times in the gospel scenes. This does not eliminate the fact that even involuntarily some name pops up in my mind as that of the possible author of that evil. I say this because I have no secrets with you, and because I think it is fitting that you, too, should be aware of this warning. We shall not prevent anything, unfortunately, but it will be useful to know that I have warned you about this beforehand. I am very disturbed. I repeat it, disturbed over this, not about anything else. Jesus does not leave me. What a lesson he is giving to all. How respectfully he guards the secret. I am no longer free to see and hear. Being here with Marta alone imposes upon me the presence of friends and acquaintances, and Jesus, who does not want to uncover his spokesman, is silent. How much there is to learn from this silence. With me, however, intimately, he is not silent or absent. Rather, he fills me with caresses. Someone will ask, why doesn't he speak and have you see at night? Because I am too ill. Maria is dying, and Jesus is merciful. He does not use strong manners, I mean a rough, overbearing style, for he has before him someone who loves. He does so when he sees the need to, but he does not take pleasure in tormenting. Here, too, how much there is to learn.